Hey folks, this is the legislative recap for the week. So we're going to start out with what we call a CR, continuing resolution. So what happens is look, you're going to understand this, you live in Pennsylvania, it's like Groundhog Day. Every September at the end of the fiscal year, as far back as you can remember, I'm sure there's this point where the government's going to run out of money. The reason that happens is that each body, the House and the Senate, is supposed to pass their appropriations bills. Those are the bills that you can look at and determine how we spend your tax dollars. There are 12 of them. The Senate has passed 0 of them, and they don't have any intention of passing any of them. And so it doesn't matter, even though the House passes some, we don't have anybody to work with over there because they have none. And so we tell you that we need a few more weeks to work on this to get a deal, to get these done, and then we're going to figure it out. And that's what the continuing resolution does. We resolve to continue spending the same amount of money, the same rate of money, and the same policies that were passed before until we work this out. Now, we knew this was coming. I didn't have a choice between a CR and no CR because the Senate passed 0 bills. So the best I could hope for was what was on the floor last week, which was a CR, which I don't like and don't agree with, bankrupting the country, bankrupting you, terrible policies that you disagree with. Last week we had that and the SAVE Act. Well, people say, what's the SAVE Act? We already passed it out of the House. All the SAVE Act says is that if you're in America and voting, you have to be a citizen and states need to verify that. Now, people say, well, isn't that already illegal to vote when you're not a citizen? Yes, it is already illegal, but no one's checking it. No one verifies it. It's like having speed limits with no police, right? So they put the SAVE Act with the CR together. I don't love the CR, remember, because it's bankrupting the country and terrible policies, but at least we would get something for it. So I voted for that. Unfortunately, it didn't pass. So what they put on the floor this week was just the CR with no SAVE Act. So same Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer policies, same bankrupting spending, that's it. Well, I'm not for bankrupting you or the country, so I voted no. So that's the big thing that happened this week. It did pass, so there won't be any shutdown, but we're continuing to bankrupt the country. And that, you can't really argue with that because it just is the truth of the matter. All right, what else we got?
Can you tell us about the contempt resolution in the Foreign Affairs Committee?
So in the Foreign Affairs Committee, we have asked Secretary of State Blinken to come in and discuss with us and answer questions about the Afghanistan withdrawal. We have spent now years trying to get him to come in, and he refuses to. He doesn't want to answer those questions. We've tried to work around his schedule, but we're out of time, as you can probably tell. And so since he wouldn't come in of his own volition and explain, he was trying to send lower level bureaucrats and other people that aren't accountable. Well, he's the decision maker. Remember, 13 service members died at the Abbey Gate when a suicide bomber came and they weren't allowed to deal with him. Hundreds of Afghans murdered and wounded, other Americans wounded. Of course, the whole debacle of leaving Afghanistan the way we did, leaving all the billions of dollars in equipment, military hardware to terrorists and the enemy, leaving American citizens behind, leaving our coalition partners behind to be tortured and killed and all that stuff. So we wanted to ask the questions. He refused to come in, so we subpoenaed him. Not once, but a couple times. He just refuses to come. So it was put before us, is he in contempt? Well, unless you come in, you're in contempt. And it's a duly constituted committee, the appropriate number of Republicans and Democrats under the rules. And so I voted to hold him in contempt in the committee, and that was important. In the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, I am the subcommittee chairman on public buildings and infrastructure, economic development, emergency services. And we held a hearing on building codes. One of the reasons building prices and home prices are so high is the FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, for any disaster relief funds requires a one-size-fits-all compliance with these building codes. Now, when I was a volunteer at the township, our code were that thick. Now it's volumes and volumes, and every single year they add more and more to it. And look, we're happy to make sure that our buildings are safe, but we also want them to be affordable. And whatever is good for Hawaii or California is not necessarily great for what's in Pennsylvania. In Hawaii, they have to deal with volcanoes. In Pennsylvania, we don't have to deal with that. So we had a discussion about that. Is it proper for the federal government through FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to coerce states and localities to comply with these regulatory paradigms that it's not even the federal government. They just pick some and say, here, comply with this. So that was what the hearing was about. I'm sure you can see that online if you want to go look. What else?
What can constituents expect over the next few weeks?
Okay, so over the next few weeks, we will be meeting with constituents who have been waiting to talk to their members of Congress about things that are important to them. Obviously visiting constituents and seeing things in the district that they want us to see. You will also be hearing about how over the course of the past few months, I've been fighting on your behalf for things like lower taxes, less regulation, more affordable energy. We're going to highlight all those things in our newsletter. So if you want to hear about those things and see about those things, I would encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. So just stay tuned. That's what you're going to find in the next few weeks. So that's the recap for now. God bless you. Stay safe out there.